Entrepreneurs, do not quit your job until you have these 5 things lined up. Let's get right into it. Welcome back, Preneurs. I know the Great Resignation is a popular thing right now, but do not quit your job until you have these 5 things lined up. Let's get right into what I'm talking about. The first one I highly believe you need to have is your side income, okay? So whatever you're doing on the side doubles your monthly expenses. So if your monthly expenses is $5,000 a month, if it's $10,000 a month, whatever that is that you're paying for, I'm talking about groceries, I'm talking about your rent or mortgages, I'm talking about your car notes, anything right now that's your fixed expenses monthly. All right, check that out. If your side hustle that you're doing right now before you leave a job is not doubling that, you're not ready. Okay, so you want to make sure that's first. That's checked off. I remember I was thinking about leaving my job. I was a corporate broker and I was like, you know what, this is not my passion. I know this is not tied to my purpose. It's okay with profit wise, but it was just barely covering the profitability of my fixed expenses. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna start doing something on the side, which I started doing, okay, I started running my own FMO, I started doing that on the side, I started creating some income to be able to double what I was making on a monthly basis in regards to my fixed expenses. My fixed expenses wasn't high at that time. It was only about $25 a month. So I had to my goal was making $5,000. So my side business had to start making $5,000 a month. And I was like, okay, now I can go to the next one, okay, which is you are skilled enough, okay, this is a big one, skilled enough to make your side hustle your main business. What do we really mean by skilled? Like you actually have the skills to be able to go generate business, right? Do you have a lead source? You know how to create leads, generate. Why? Because when you're running a business, you got to make sure you have the prospects. You got to know exactly who you're going to be speaking to. Who's your customer? Does your customer actually need your product? Like who's the vendor who's actually making your product? You have good relationships with them. These are all things you have to think about. So the industry I was in, I had to start thinking about this. I said, you know what? And can I really be able to make this without my job? Like take my job's income out the way. Can I really, my business right now, be able to really allow me to live? You know, for me, I was very fearful because, you know, I had kids, you know, I had my wife, you know, my wife likes security and me as a man, I want to provide security to her as well, to my family. That's my job. So I'm over here thinking like, can I really become an entrepreneur? Can I really be a business owner and really do this? And lucky for us, I was able to develop enough skills to be able to start doing that. So this was a big one for me because I started learning how to be able to generate and be able to create that type of income because of the skills I was able to develop on a part-time basis. Now it gave me confidence to be able to go and do it full-time. Next one is your emergency fund covers at least, this is minimum by the way. I recommend more, but minimum 6 months of expenses. Okay, so whatever that is for you, you got to go and do your calculations, what that actually equates to. But it has to cover this. Why? Because if you're deciding to leave your job, there is going to be bumps in the road, okay? It's not all rainbows and sunshine. This is because you decided to become an entrepreneur or business owner, okay? Literally, when you transfer and you actually make that jump, okay, there's going to be things that you did not account for. There's variables that you cannot account for. All right, this is a game that you don't know where all the things are happening. So what you have to do is always make sure you have an emergency fund. Okay, you got to have that fund that's under the other fund that you don't even know about. So for you, 6 months to give you a buffer that if you can get back on your feet, if you need to. And the cool thing about it is that if you do run out of this, guess what? There's always going to be jobs. All right, so you can always go back if necessary. But your job is not to quit and have to go back. If you make the decision to go cross that sand, and we call it that line in the sand, you got to cross that, you never have to go back again. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have these things again implemented. So again, when you do quit, that it's for good, that you're able to move forward to your purpose. So this is another one for you. Another one is number 4, which is you are actually determined and focused enough to succeed. Oh, no one can really measure this one. That's all heart. You have to make a true decision and saying, look, I am going to go to this position. It's scary. I'm fearful. And I definitely was when I left corporate America. And, you know, I became a corporate dropout. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur. That was very scary for me. All right. I never was an entrepreneur before. I was like, I'm really going to do this. But I was so determined. I was so focused that everyone told me, like, what are you doing? Like, you have such a safe position. Like, you have this, you have all these perks, you have all these incentives. I remember my wife, she was executive of a big private hospital, and everyone's like, what, you're leaving that? Like, that's everyone's dream job. How can you do that? Right? And for us, it was, nah, like, that's not our purpose. Like, that's not our identity. We have something so much bigger that we want. And we're so determined and focused to make sure that, again, that our vision is going to surpass any type of distraction. Anything, any naysayers, anyone that's saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, you're bad, doesn't matter. We are literally so focused that we're gonna win regardless. And when you're determined enough, oh, believe me, you're good, all right? And you know when you're just frustrated enough that you know you're never gonna go back. And that brings us to our last one, which is you are ready to work 12 plus hours per day. When you are able to do this, it's because you love what you do. You're not looking at the clock. When you're looking at the clock, that means you really don't love what you got going on anyways. So are you so energized that you love what you're doing each and every day, that you're so passionate about it, that doesn't matter if there's 12 hours, it can be 24 hours. You're so jacked up about it because you know what you're doing is tied to the purpose of what you want to do in the first place of your life. And when you have these 5 steps, implement it, guess what? When you quit, you never go back. When you quit, you only move forward and you advance. And that's what we want for you at the end of the day. So with that, go to tag someone else that you think that could benefit from literally, that's already thinking about, you know what? I don't like where I'm at right now. I would like to resign. I would like to quit. But we want to make sure that these 5 things are implemented so that, again, when you do that, that you're only moving forward. You never go back. You never living life through the rearview mirror. You're always looking again through the windshield effectively. So with that, guys, if you can, go ahead and click the notification so that you are updated with all the new videos in the future. Make sure you're increasing 1% daily so we can help you increase your profit, passion, and purpose, because we want you to live your best Preneur life. To the next one, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.